absolutely love escaping and going back to my artwork. That's my safe space. I have a little workshop that I work out of. When I'm in there, time it goes on fast forward. The impact of the symptoms really were worrying because I use my hands a lot in my artwork. So when I realised then that they were becoming slow or not working properly, was really scary. I noticed that my fingers became stiff. And I think the scariest thing about it was that, you can command your fingers to open and close without even thinking about it. But then I noticed that it wasn't working. Daily activities were definitely becoming more difficult. Pulling plugs out of walls, turning keys in locks, picking things up off the floor. I went in to see a doctor and I described my symptoms to him. He kind of looked at me skeptically as if to say, this is a bit odd. But he sat back down after doing these various tests and he conceded, yes, there is something wrong with your hand. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm going to have to send you to see somebody else, which left me feeling very confused. At that point, I didn't know at all what the problem was. I got a call. Rachel, can you get down here? We've got a spare bed. So that was it. I just packed a bag and drove down to this big hospital on my own. And I remember looking at the sign above the door and it said Emergency Neurology Clinic. It kind of struck fear into my heart a little bit that this was a bit more serious than I thought. They took me through a little schedule of what the things I was going to be having done while I was there. They told me they wanted to see whether this treatment, intravenous immunoglobulin, also known as IVIG treatment, had any effect on my symptoms. And then later, I saw the neurologist and he said there are strong signs of ALS. But if I respond to the treatment, then they know that's not what I've got and that I've got something else which is called multifocal motor neuropathy. They determined officially that I had MMN. To find out that you've been diagnosed with a progressive disease is an emotional experience. The one thing, though, that makes it better is that there's a treatment for it that could help. After my diagnosis, it was concluded that I needed to have IVIG treatment because I responded so well to it in the hospital. After the first treatment, I was able to move my fingers. So when the doctor saw this, and I knew it myself, this treatment, it was working for me. And that was really good. My family were really supportive of me, especially through treatment, going into hospital, and just being there for me. So I was really lucky like that. It was such a relief to go from the mystery of what was wrong with me to finding a treatment that was working for me. I do need treatment, and I probably will need it for the rest of my life to slow the symptom progression. But at the same time, that's a small price to pay to be able to have good use of my limbs. I still have challenges, that's for sure. So even though I'm slowing the progress, I'm not stopping it. I've definitely noticed the dexterity of my hands and my fingers on my right hand, which is affected the most, isn't the same as what it was before I was diagnosed. This is my new normal. I have accepted it, but I've got so much more that I've got going on that I'd like, my artwork, my family, that it's here, but it doesn't dominate me.